what's up? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth Ann, and this is a video I've never really done before, but since I have a lot of travel plans coming up in the near-ish future, I wanted to toy with travel, like vlogging and giving tips and tricks on how I plan. So today is going to be my first one. We're going to be going over my DC trip. My friend Devin really inspired me. She makes these wonderful vlogs and really good travel vlogs as well. And so I decided I would kind of go over the advice I was given, the places I was given as recommendations, and kind of what I did, and then I'll even put in some vlog footage in a few minutes. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Be sure to leave any feedback, negative or positive, down below because I'm really interested in travel vlogging. So yes, thank you. Enjoy the video. A little bit of background knowledge about myself. I am 25. I just turned 25. And I'm really into fashion, I'm into arts, I'm into music, and typically anytime I go on a trip like this, I'm going to spend most of my time in museums or wandering around different neighborhoods, taking in history, artifacts, that kind of thing. So yeah, boring detail. I'm just going to get into it. I'm going to go over the best restaurants, where I went, where I was suggested, museums, attractions, etc. And yeah, the thing about Washington is there's so much to see. Seriously. I was there for Monday through Friday, but on Friday when I left in the evening, so I could kind of use Friday as a pretty much full day of discovery. So there are literally so many museums, I couldn't even tell you every single one. I will tell you which ones I went to and my favorites, and I'll also insert a few that two of my friends who sent me recommendations suggested. Definitely recommend doing your research as to what you're interested to as far as museums go. I kind of went over some YouTube and Google research and then compared it with what my friends suggested, as well as my family that had been there before. And at the end of the day, we did the ones that I was really, really interested in. Like I said, I only had 3 or 4 full days there, so that's what we did. I chose the Smithsonian American History, Smithsonian American Art, Natural Portrait Gallery, National Gallery of Art, the Spy Museum, and we also went to Ford Theater to see where Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. There were a few activities and things I really hated I missed out on. One being because of COVID, they still have the White House shut down, and you can't go for the holiday tours or tours in general. So I really hate I missed that. I really hate that I missed the National Museum of African American History and Culture. I really, really want to see that museum. I've heard nothing but good things, and everyone says you can literally spend like 12 hours in there. One we did skip out on that I also would see only if I was there a super extended period of time and had just the extra time is the Holocaust Museum. But I've seen so many different installments of the Holocaust Museum, in Dallas, and I've seen a few different Holocaust museums in general or exhibits. And I just felt like I wanted to use my time to see other ones. If you've never been to a Holocaust museum or exhibition, I definitely recommend going to the one in Dallas. I've heard amazing things. And yeah, if you know me or you watch my channel, you know I'm obsessed with coffee. So of course I had to try some coffee spots in DC. I didn't get to hit all of the coffee shops I wanted to, but a few of these on the list I did hit were mostly chains. I went to Blue Bottle and Phil's. Phil's was my first time ever trying that. It was so good. I tried Compass Coffee for the first time. I really wanted to make it to Tate Bakery, but I did not have enough time. And the rest are just ones that people recommended to me. And some I found on like TikTok. Since we did stay in Bethesda, we didn't do too many crazy meals in DC. A few of the places we did go that I loved and I thought I would share are Pizza Paradiso. It's super delicious. They have a few different locations. They have one in DuPont Circle and Georgetown for sure. And I can't really remember the rest of the locations, but super delicious, great pizza, and they even had a gluten-free option for myself. One restaurant I do recommend, it's near the White House. It is called Old Ebbit Grill. It's kind of you have to eat there at least once in your life spot. Has super delicious food. They're known, I believe the man said, for their crab cakes. They had a really, really good, extravagant pork chop meal I had. And we went early in the day at 11, so it wasn't too busy at all. But remember, you do have to have a reservation if you end up going here. Since we were staying in Bethesda, we ate a lot of our meals, A, at my aunt's friend's house, but B, getting DoorDashed. And while they were delicious, they were not in the DC proper area. If you do go to Bethesda, there's a great gluten-free cafe that we ate at one night. They have this delicious gluten-free brie toast, so yum. And I also tried, I believe, one of their subs, and it was delicious as well. It's called Lilith Cafe. And down below, I will link all of these restaurants I'm talking about, so don't worry about that. We also had a super good Chinese restaurant, and yeah, they have amazing tofu, and I just got the sesame chicken there. Moving on, other attractions I went to were Ford Museum. Of course, I went and saw all the monuments. I went by Congress, I went by the White House. The biggest piece of advice I can give you are the tours. So I went on a tour with ELD Touring. His name is Eddie. He is a second generation tour guide, and it was the best money we spent on that trip. It was so great. He was so informational. He gave us all the little nitty gritty details that you might not get. It is a private tour, and so we were allowed to bring, I believe, up to 6 people for the price we paid. Very nice. He even took us all the way back to where we were staying in Bethesda. And I'm not sure about hotel prices and all that stuff, but if you stay in Bethesda and you stay outside of DC, specifically in Bethesda, they have an M train that goes out there, and it's actually at a hotel. I believe it's the Spring Hill Suites, and it's literally so easy. The M train is definitely the way to go. The only downside is it does not go to Georgetown and a couple other areas, but there are like water taxis. But unfortunately, during the winter, water taxis do not typically run. So I started planning on my trip by gathering what my must-see spots were. Like I said, there were a few museums and a few attractions I really wanted to hit. We covered a lot more by doing the ELD touring. That really helped, and it was super, super fun to do. So we loved that. And after that, I kind of just broke down what 1 or 2 museums / what restaurants I wanted to hit that day. And that's how I kind of planned out the trip. So now I'm going to take you through the kind of day by day and other tips and tricks. Also, don't forget to bring your vaccine card and plenty of masks because there is still a mandate around Washington. So, yeah. So, like I said, the biggest piece of advice in the DC area is definitely take the M train as much as you can. It saves a lot of money and it's super easy to figure out. All right, so starting with my day by day itinerary, we started off across from Congress. We went to Old Ebbit Grill, like I said, one of the must stops if you've never been there before. I got the delicious pork chop, and it was so interesting and cool to walk around and look and see all the different history and all the art, and it was so delicious. Our server was literally the best, and they were all super, super nice there. We then took a long walk over to the Smithsonian American History Museum. It's about a 20-minute walk from the Old Ebbit Grill, and I definitely recommend this museum. There's so much to go through. If you're remotely interested in history and American history, presidency, etc., it is to die for. Didn't go as planned, and we ended up spending hours in there, so we ended our night just walking around the National Mall and then heading over to Pizza Paradiso. Super delicious. Like I said before, they did have gluten-free options. My aunt got this delicious salad, and I got this delicious pizza. The next morning, we spontaneously went to Ford's Theater. It originally was not on our list, but I'm so glad we went and hit it. It didn't take that long, maybe about 30 to 45 minutes, and it's definitely a must-see if you're a history buff. We went over to a chain Parisian cafe. It was okay, but I wouldn't recommend, honestly. Next up was the Smithsonian Museum of American Art. I definitely recommend the National Portrait Gallery with all the president's portraits are inside of it, and I believe that's a once in a lifetime thing. A super cute outdoor little area that's covered and a little cafe there. We ran into a Christmas mart on the street on the way over to Urban Eats. Like I said, super Instagrammable, super cute, just not honestly worth the hype in my opinion. Next up was the Spy Museum. While I did not take many clips because videotaping was not allowed, it was so fun and I definitely recommend. We ended our day with our tour, as I told you guys, with ELD Touring. It was amazing and I cannot say enough good things. It's so worth the money and time to take out of your schedule to do. Our last full day was spent going to Mount Vernon, Alexandria, and back down to the National Mall. We started off with the tour at Mount Vernon. It was super interesting. It definitely is something you need to do at least once in your life. I then went to Alexandria where my aunt used to live and I fell in love. I kind of just walked around and explored. I headed over to this super cute coffee shop called Misha's Coffee. I went to the one closest to the Potomac, and so I could see the river literally right outside of the coffee shop. Originally, we were going to go to Georgetown, but we ended up going back to the National Gallery of Art. We also walked around the sculpture garden, and then we watched the gorgeous sunset on either side. It was just stunning. I had to ride back by the White House to see the Christmas trees at night, and I'm so glad I did because how beautiful. And on my last day, I had until about 3 p.m. to explore. I headed over to DuPont Circle and went to Phil's for the first time. Super delicious. I then went to this super cute Parisian cafe. I'll put the name on the screen right here. It is so cute and delicious. Then I went to M Street in Georgetown and kind of explored Georgetown. I also tried Compass Coffee and ended my day by going and seeing the White House one last time. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this helped you guys out if you're planning a trip to DC. I had super fun filming and vlogging. If you guys want to see the full vlog style videos, they are up in my channel and I will drop them down below. Please be sure to leave any feedback down below, and bye queens. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
I don't need to think about it. There's nothing in this world that we can't do. Flowers even matter.